Alright, what we're going to look at now is the segmental assessment of the thorax. There's two distinct ways of doing this. The way I prefer is position testing combined with arthrokinematic testing. The other way is the more traditional passive physiological invertible movement test followed by the arthrokinematics. I find this test is actually a little more reliable with my students. They can reproduce it and the results better. So, what we're going to do is look at flexion first. We'll get into slump his head forwards, slump back, slump forwards, so the thorax is fully flexed. And then all I do is come from the spinous process and move out and laterally so that I'm over the transverse processes. And we'll just come down and we compare these. And we're looking for a posterior one. Now, if in this position I find that the right one is posterior to the left one, so they're sitting like that, then one of two things could have happened. Either the right one is hypomobile into flexion, so as he flexed it stayed pretty much where it was while the left one moved up, making this one sit backwards, or they're both mobile, so they both come forwards, but the left one is hypermobile, so it moves forward a little bit more and leaves this one sitting back again. This is where the arthrokinematic tests become important, because I'll push on this one under the hypothesis that this is hypomobile and see if the end feel is the same as the ones above and below it and to the other side if necessary. If it's not, then this is hypomobile. If it is mobile compared to the rest of them, then I'll push on this left transverse process and see if it's too mobile and I'm looking for a softer end feel or possibly spasm and pain. So we'll get them down into flexion again, we'll come down the neck and we come across a posterior transverse process there. Now, there's increased tone there, so I can't be sure that this is actually the vertebra sitting back or if I'm trying to palpate through hypertonic muscle. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to assume that this is posterior and I will glide this now supero-anterior, roughly towards his nose, and get the end feel for that and compare it to the ones above and below it. And we find that it is hypomobile. If this had been normally mobile, then I will push on the left one and see if that was hypermobile. But I'm comfortable that this right facet of this level, which is about 4 or 5, is hypomobile.